Okay, so this first video, I'm just going to talk you through some basic circuit components that we use really regularly, tell you what their symbols are, and then we'll talk through what they actually do within a circuit. So the first thing I want to show you is a cell. Now, you'll have seen these before in lessons. You will recognise them as batteries on the underneath, but a battery is actually multiple cells. So the cell provides the potential difference to the circuit, and you can see it's represented by one short line and one long line. In isolation, it looks just like this. Now, I just said a battery is slightly different to a cell, and that's because a battery is actually more than one cell in series. So it could be two cells just like this one, or it could be that you use many cells, in which case we represent it with a dotted line to show that there are more cells in between. So that provides the potential difference, which drives the current around the circuit. You must have some sort of power source in your circuit for it to work. Now, the next component that you'll be familiar with will be this, which is a bulb. This is a 1.5 volt bulb. You can see the symbol for a bulb on the actual circuit board here. And if this is connected with a cell by two wires, this transforms energy via a radiation pathway so we can see it lights up. Okay, so you can see already the symbol there for the bulb. If you want to see that a little bit bigger, here is the circuit symbol for a bulb. Now, if we want to be able to turn our circuit on and off, the most common device that we use is a switch. Now, just so that you can see it nice and big, I've drawn the switch for you there. I've got a push switch here. So if I connect that switch in series, you can see when the switch is open, the bulb doesn't light up. And then when the switch is closed, it does light up because we complete the circuit, allowing the current to flow. Okay, something you may not have seen before is a component called a fixed resistor. I'm going to show you the underneath of this because it's actually more interesting. So in here, we've got a component that provides a constant resistance to the circuit. And all that does is it prevents the current from being able to flow in our loop. On the front of here, you can see it says 50 ohms. Ohms are the measurements for resistance. And it's just a plain rectangle, which is actually the symbol for a fixed resistor. I'm not going to connect this one into my circuit because, to be honest, it doesn't really do anything. All it does is gets a bit warm, which doesn't really translate over a video. So, if we've built our circuit, how do we know what's going on? I'm telling you that there's a current flowing, I'm telling you there's a potential difference, but we need to prove that. So we use two components called an ammeter and a voltmeter. So the voltmeter, we use just the symbol V, and an ammeter, we use the symbol A, keeping things nice and simple. And if we connect those into the circuit we had before with the bulb, to measure the current, we need to know how much current flows through the circuit, so we need to connect the ammeter in series. So here's my ammeter, you can see it says ammeter, and I'm going to make that part of my loop so that the current flows through it. There we go, and turn it on. Okay, so let's just test that that works. If I close the circuit, I get a current reading on my ammeter, and that works. Brilliant. So if I want to know what potential difference my cell is giving out or my bulb is using, I need to connect my voltmeter. Now, voltmeters have a very, very, very high resistance, so we have to create an extra path for the electricity to go down. So you can see I connect the voltmeter in parallel across the component that I'm measuring. And if we close the loop again, you can see I get 1.06 volts across my bulb, which should be the same as the output from my cell because it's the only component in my loop. So you can see here I've also built you a very basic circuit which you'll need for the next task. So we've got a cell, a switch, an ammeter, a bulb and a voltmeter. See if you can make a note of how those are connected for the next activity.